Let us talk about parameter passing methods in this video. We have already learned about functions, how to write the functions and how to call the functions. We learned that parameters are taken by function as input and the functions will process and perform some specific task and they return some result. So what are the methods a function can take the parameters? So we learn about this. So there are three methods a function can take parameters. These are the three methods supported in C++. If you know about C language, there were only two methods, that is pass by value and pass by address. But in C++, there are three methods: pass by value, pass by address, and pass by reference. So this actually we can also call it as call by value, call by address, and call by reference also. It's the one and the same thing. So by taking one single example, I'll explain you the differences between these three methods, how they work. And once you know about these methods, so you can use them based on their requirement, and whichever is suitable you can use that. So here I have written one program to demonstrate all these three parameter passing methods. So let us see. Let us understand the code first, then we look at all the parameter passing methods one by one. See here inside the main function I have two variables x and y. They are having some values 10 and 20. Then I am calling swap function here. Swap means it will interchange the values of x and y. So y will become 10 and x will become 20. That 20 will come here and 10 will go there. That is the purpose. For that purpose I have written this function. Then after that I am trying to display x and y. So what I am expecting is 20 and 10 should be displayed, because after swapping the value should change. Now what the function I have written, let us look at this. This function swap int a, int b. So these values will be passed in this one. Then there is a temporary variable, and here is the logic for swapping the values of a and b. Now this parameter passing method is actually called by value. So once I explain, then I can make you understand what does it mean by call by value. Let us run this and see really it will swap two values or not. Let us look at the execution of this one. You know well that the memory is divided into three sections. One is a code section in which this machine code of this program is residing. And now let us start the execution. The program will start from main. This is the entry point of a program. So the very first line says that I need two variables x and y to store some numbers. So inside the stack, a block of memory is allocated for x having value 10 and y having value 20. And this block belongs to main function. We call this as activation record. Now next, a swap function is called. The moment the swap function is called, inside the parameters it says that it needs a, b, and also inside that there is a variable temp. So block of memory is allocated for swap function, and it will have variable a, b, and temp. Now as this function is called, the value of x is copied in a and the y is copied in b. So 10 is copied here and 20 is copied here, and this is for swap function. Now let us see what is happening here. The value of a and b are interchanged. So temp assign a value. So 10 will be copied in temp. Then a assign b value. So b value is stored in a. So this becomes 20. Then b assign temp. So b will contain the value of temp. So 10 is stored here. So yes, they are swapped. Now this is the last line. The moment the function ends, you know well that once the function ends, its activation record or the block of memory inside the stack will be deleted. So this will be gone. I will not mark it, just I will show it as deleted. Okay, this is deleted. Now the control come back to the main function. Now it will print x and y. So what are the values of x and y? 10 and 20. Oh, they are not swapped. This is 10 as it is, this is 20 as it is. They are not swapped. Yes. So this is call by value method. In this method, the values of these x and y, they are copied in this one. And swapping of these variables is done, not the actual parameters. So that's the point here. In call by value method, the value of the parameters is passed to a function. So these parameters, we call them as actual parameters, and these parameters we call them as formal parameters. So just to differentiate, these are also parameter, those are also parameter. To differentiate, we say these are actual and that are formal. So the value of actual parameter is copied in formal parameters, and if any changes are done inside the formal parameters, will not change the actual parameters. So if you want the call by value mechanism to modify actual parameters, it cannot do that. Then when do you use call by value mechanism? If you want a function to just take the values and perform the operation and return the result, then you use call by value. This function is not returning anything, and call by value method is not suitable for swap function. For other purpose, you can use call by value. So in practice, we will be looking at call by value methods also. While writing further programs, I'll show you where call by value method is useful. So we have finished with the call by value. So I repeat the points once again, that if any changes are done to formal parameters, that will not reflect in actual parameters. You can see that the activation record of main is different and the activation record of swap is different, and it is making changes in its own variable. So it is not modifying mains variables. That's all. This is call by value.